What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on ESPN, they're going to be talking about how Clayton Kershaw has struggled in Game 4. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Let me ask you this, though, Mark. Being a three-time Silver Slugger that you are, you know a little bit about batting and hitting balls and those sort of things. It seems like to me, now correct me if I'm wrong, when Clayton, especially in the postseason, is on the mound and he's dealing, those 5 innings he was dealing, but our bats were not dealing for him too many times.
Look at those numbers, man. It's like he gets worse and worse the closer he gets to the World Series. That doesn't even make sense.
He's left out there in a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 situation. Does that apply pressure to the pitcher?
You're exactly right. It's, I'll use the analogy, Keyshawn, in your sport, when it's a really tight game and you're making your quarterback go down there and score with a few seconds left, he's going to throw some interceptions. Like, he's going to be under pressure, and that's what happened to Clayton Kershaw. The Dodgers...
Yeah, but this happens too frequently. I mean, every single year, Clayton Kershaw falls apart. Every single year. I mean, especially since they got cheated by the Houston Astros.
Did not swing the bats last night. 3 hits, and the Braves were pitching a guy named Bryce Wilson that most of the country has never heard of. He pitched a masterful game, but Bryce Wilson isn't a guy that you would expect to just completely shut down the #1 offense in baseball. So Clayton Kershaw's going out there in a 1-1 game. He's throwing very high-pressure pitches, every inning high pressure, and sometimes that stuff just gets to you, and it feels like that's been the case.
Nah, I don't want to hear this pressure getting to him. He's had plenty of time to get the kinks out in the playoffs, and still, it's the same thing. Look at the ERA. I mean, that's absolutely out of control, man. The closer he gets to the big show, the worse he does.
In every one of these postseason losses is Clayton Kershaw is on the mound in a very high-pressure situation when the offense is not getting the job done, and the teams and the fans and the city and Dodger Nation is all saying, all right, Clayton, it's up to you, and unfortunately he hasn't gotten it done.
Okay, Tex, so Kershaw now is under 500 again in the postseason. How should we view his postseason career?
Not good.
Well, it is what it is, and you hate to say it, but he's not been a great postseason pitcher. He's got the highest career ERA of any pitcher to throw 100 innings in the postseason. And that stat in and of itself isn't a big deal. I think the bigger deal is that Clayton Kershaw has been on the mound for the most important games in Dodger playoff history. So since 1988, since their last championship, the Dodgers have come really close to going all the way and getting a World Series title. And Clayton Kershaw has been on the mound for a lot of those games.
I mean, that is his choke city right there. Absolutely choke city. That's like a borderline doing it on purpose. I mean, I'm not hating on Clayton Kershaw. He's a baller, but I mean, come on, man.
You look at his ERA, he's pretty good in the division series. He's not great in the LCS, and he's been bad in the World Series. So more than just the stats, it's the fact that the Dodgers are now going on 32 years without a World Series title, and the best pitcher, arguably the best pitcher of this generation, has not gotten it done in the playoffs.
Damn, Mark, you didn't have to bring the 32 years up. If we don't win the World Series this year, what should we do in the offseason?
Well, the crazy thing is that you look at the Dodgers roster and you go, what else do you need? I mean, they were really close last year. They got
Exactly.
upset. Let's be honest. They got upset by a Nationals team that just got hot. The Dodgers roster last year was a better team. This year, they might be getting upset again by a Braves team that's a very good team. I mean, the Braves are stacked on their lineup, but they really have 2 starting pitchers, 2 guys that you can count on and trust. The Dodgers have 5 or 6 starting pitchers they can go out there and deal. And any, maybe hole that the Dodgers had in their lineup, they got Mookie Betts last offseason. They got one of the best players in all of baseball. So I think the front office and Andrew Friedman doing everything they have to do from roster standpoint. Now it's just execution on the field that they haven't got.